Hello and welcome back to RBY Pokemon Challenges. We are in the second part of our Minimum Battles series, where we are now going up against Misty with the 72 Pokemon that were able to beat Brock on Minimum Battles. Last time I told you at the end, please tell me which Pokemon you'd like to see. And a couple people went ahead and they gave us their comments and told us that they would like to see a couple Pokemon that will appear in today's episode. But if you want to help us figure out what to use next time, we'll see the Pokemon just in a little bit that have already beaten Brock. Choose your favorite and tell me so that I can make sure that I work it into the next video. So, if you haven't liked or subscribed, get liked, get subscribed. We're going to have tons of videos coming. We've started a new set of videos where we just do individual Pokemon and just show the runs that they had in case the full episodes are a little too long for your taste. But we also have full episodes coming every Monday, so you can catch every single Pokemon all the way till the end of the game. So, let's just talk a little bit about rules. Of course, we don't use items in battle. We don't use any extra battles. This is a minimum battles challenge. And we don't use any other Pokemon other than our starting Pokemon in battle. And these are important because basically any Pokemon could just grind up enough and beat Misty at a high enough level. Even if it's a Magikarp using Struggle, at some point it will be able to beat Misty just by using Struggle. We don't want to do that. We want to keep the challenge consistent. So with minimum battles, we have in this section for the first time the opportunity to get some TMs, but we're not going to get every TM that would be possible at this point. So what we will get, we can get Mega Punch in Mount Moon. We can get TM12 Water Gun in Mount Moon. That will help a few Pokemon that need a water-type move to help with some type coverage, for example. Thunder Wave, TM45, north on the way to Bill's house is available. TM28, Dig. We can go ahead and go to Bill's house and start towards Vermilion City before we have to fight Misty. Depends on the Pokemon. Some Pokemon that will be a good route. Some Pokemon won't need to go that far. But if they need Dig, Dig is a 100 base power ground type move, and it can be very effective, as we saw last week with Rhydon and Arcanine, in being able to let us beat Misty, even with some Pokemon that have a type disadvantage against her. Finally, we can get HM cut, or HM1 cut, by going down to the SSN and beating Rival 3. And finally, we can get 2 rare candies at this point. So if all else fails, if we've tried every TM combination that we can think of, we can at least level up twice by using rare candies without doing any extra battles, and possibly get a chance to get through. What we can't get in this playthrough is TM8 Body Slam, TM19 Seismic Toss, and TM44 Rest. These TMs are all locked behind optional trainers, or in the case of TM19, it's not locked behind an optional trainer, but the trainer that we would have to fight to keep our minimum battles blocks that TM. If we didn't do minimum battles, we'd be able to actually lure him out far enough that we could go in behind him before we get cut and get Seismic Toss. But as it stands in this run, we're going to have to wait till we get cut the tree down, grab TM19, and we can't do that until after we've beaten Misty and gotten her badge so that we can use cut outside of battle. So, let's look at the Pokemon that have beaten Brock so far. I've knocked off the 5 Pokemon from last week that we already did the challenge. So last week we used our Surfing Pikachu, we used Oddish, we used Arcanine, we used Starmie, and we used Rhydon. And all 5 of those Pokemon were actually able to get through Misty on minimum battles. The Pokemon that had type disadvantages happened to be some of the strongest in the game, so it wasn't all that surprising, I suppose. But look at these Pokemon and let me know, which ones would you like to see? I'm particularly interested in seeing how a Pokemon like Marowak will do. I would also be very interested to see a Pokemon like Ammonite, given that in Scott's Thoughts run, he hit a wall against Misty with Ammonite, but I think I have a strategy that's actually going to be able to get through Misty on minimum battles reasonably consistently. So, a lot of times when I watch other Pokemon YouTubers, they seem to just be so focused on, oh, let me get the run done, that they don't really think about the strategy enough, and there's something that they could have done in order to get through. So when we get to Ammonite, we're definitely going to try that out. Some other Pokemon that could be very interesting, I think Nidoqueen is going to be interesting. It's got a type disadvantage, but it's going to be a very powerful Pokemon. A Pokemon like Charmeleon, Charizard, they're going to be pretty interesting as well, I think. So, last time, as I said, we'd used Surfing Pikachu, Starmie, Rhydon, Arcanine, and Oddish, and all of them were able to get through Misty. And it really left me questioning after last episode, is Misty actually a challenge? Like, is there any Pokemon that won't be able to get through Misty? It seemed like we would have a couple challenges here with Rhydon and Arcanine, but those turned out to be basically nothing once we got the Dig TM. So probably any Pokemon that can learn Dig at least is going to have a pretty good chance. So let's get out of Dig users and try some Pokemon that won't have that as a strategy. Just happens to be Halloween today, so we're going to go ahead and use Gastly, Haunter, Gengar, Mr. Mime, and Hypno. Now, Mr. Mime and Hypno were requested on the last video, but I also think that they're some of the creepiest looking Pokemon in this generation. So I think it's rather fitting that just here for our Halloween episode, we've got the ghosts and we've got two psychic types that honestly, at least for me, freaked me out when I was a kid. Mr. Mime was just the weirdest looking thing ever in my childhood. I really don't like clowns, and the fact that it looks like a clown mime thing really just put me off. I skipped that Pokemon almost every time. I got it once just to complete the Pokedex, but that was basically it. Hypno is another just really weird Pokemon. I remember in Pokemon Stadium, its gesture as it would come out. Just thought it was super strange. But these are our Pokemon for today. So without further ado, let's get into it. We've got Gastly up first. We have Gastly's Learn Set and TM and HM moves loaded up here. And we're going to go ahead and try to go through Misty. Do you think we can do it on minimum battles? Do you think we can do it without even having to stop on the way, for example, to heal? I think that's probably a long shot, but we're going to be able to definitely do some damage here, I think, with Gastly. So, one of the big advantages that Gastly has right here, we're just using Lick because none of these Pokemon can really do anything to us. Like, it's the exact opposite of the Oddish run before, where with Oddish, the challenge that we had was that there are so many poison types in this section of the game that Oddish's attacks are being resisted by all of these Pokemon. And we ended up having to use Bide, not for Misty, but in order to get through Team Rocket. Team Rocket was actually the hardest part of that run for Oddish. But Gastly is in a completely different situation. So many of these Pokemon are using normal or poison type moves that Gastly isn't affected by. And because Gastly's not affected by those moves, we're going to be able to pretty much just run straight through this section. Now, Gastly won't be able to use TM1 or TM12. They're not moves that are available to it, Water Gun or Mega Punch. So there's not really much point in spending too much time here in Mount Moon, other than just to fight the two required trainer battles. Here we have to be careful every time against this Rocket Grunt. We don't want him to come and fight us, but here in pretty short order we're going to get through. I mean, here we are. We're up against Grimer, which it can use Disable on us, and that's it. Voltorb, again, it can use Screech on us, and that's it. Coughing can hit us with Poison Gas, which is resisted. It's doing 1 damage when it hits. And we're already through to Team Rocket, and Team Rocket's going to be more of the same. We're just using Lick to paralyze it, and we have to use Nightshade against Meowth because Lick won't be effective against Meowth as a normal type Pokemon, but really just a super easy run. We're just going to pick up that Great Ball so that later when we want to catch a flying type to use Fly, we'll already have the ball in our pocket. And yeah, we heal up and let's go fight the junior trainer in Misty's gym. And there we go, it's down. We're just going to heal up with a couple of potions before we fight Misty. And now against Misty, we're just going to start off with Confuse Ray. And then we just want to confuse Starmie. Oop, we got taken out on that one. But okay, let's try one more time. Confuse Ray. Yeah, we're better off just doing that. Okay, confuse Starmie. Like, we have overall good special, so a couple attempts and boom, we're through Misty with almost no challenge. And it basically just comes down to Gastly has great special and it's got great moves, and opponents can't really do much to us. So that's one Pokemon already through Misty. Easy game. So if Gastly can do it, I think we know that Haunter is going to be fine, but let's go ahead and take that run anyway. Now, I always loved Haunter when I was a kid because Haunter was the coolest looking Pokemon, I thought. Like, more so than Gengar, Haunter to me was the Pokemon that really looked like it was scary. There was something about Gengar when it adds feet that just, I don't know, wasn't as menacing to me. Whereas Haunter like looked like it was literally going to come and like haunt you. Especially with some of these Gen 1 sprites that it had. The back sprite is terrible, but the front sprite was the one that really I found like spooky. This is the yellow sprite, but I think it was the red and blue sprite was the one that I really thought was like, whoa, just scary. Come on, hit yourself. Come on, hit yourself. Why is it that whenever I get confused, I immediately hit myself in confusion, and yet the AI never hits itself in confusion? If we had that kind of confusion luck when we were using Nidoking, we would have gotten through Brock with no issues, probably. But yeah, this is all really pretty simple. We're just going ahead and battering our way through these Pokemon. Now, Haunter's basically got the same moveset and TM pool as Gastly. The only difference is that it's going to learn the moves Hypnosis and Dream Eater at higher levels than Gastly. We should get our rare candy though. But so because of that, again, there's not a whole lot of point in running around in here. Oops. There we go. And yeah, I mean, Haunter is basically just a beefed up Gastly. And because of that, there's not really much to expect or look forward to here, other than that we should get through even easier because of the fact that we're evolved. So this one will likely just be a first attempt victory against Misty, is my prediction, as opposed to 2 attempts. And there we go. So Haunter's going to be in the same boat where once we get to Celadon, we will want to catch a flying Pokemon. So we will get the Great Ball there just so that we have something to catch that Pokemon with. And yeah, same routing. There's no reason to change what we're doing, given as we are already here. And yeah, let's just take on Misty. I don't even think we need to heal up or anything. Okay, Staryu is down. We're just using Confusion because, or Confuse Ray rather, because it can give us a chance to get extra turns, as we see that if Misty plays well, for example, she uses Bubble Beam against us, then she can absolutely take us out. But Misty just attacks randomly, so we get through 10 HP, but hey, we'll take it. And that's another Pokemon through Misty. So, Haunter, again, no problem. Easy game. Let's move on to Gengar. Now, Gengar adds quite a few more moves compared to the previous unevolved Pokemon. And basically, what that means is that Gengar is really well set up for the late game, because it's got a stats advantage on its previous evolutions. It still has the amazing typing for a playthrough, being that it is a ghost type. So many Pokemon are just not going to be able to do anything to us. Plus, Poison is going to allow us to resist when we go to Erica's gym. Our challenges really are going to be Sabrina is going to be a challenge when we get to her. And Koga is going to be a challenge, given his Pokemon, despite the fact that they are all bug poison types, use Psychic. So that will be a little bit of a challenge, but Gengar fortunately has really good stats, so we should be able to. There we go. We should be able to get through. Come on. There we go. It's very sensitive to get through here with this emulator on fast speed, unfortunately. But yeah, so Koga will be a challenge. And then I expect that Giovanni could be a challenge, especially given that his Doug Trio is going to be really fast. And a lot of his team knows ground type moves like Earthquake that we will not resist with our Gengar. So we should probably expect that we will have some challenges there. And then, let's see. Yeah, TM, so we do get Mega Punch. So we'll go and get Mega Punch here to make sure that we have access to that move. But yeah, thinking about it, if we can get to a high enough level that we can consistently beat Sabrina, and if we can get through Koga, who's also got his ace at level 50 in this generation, then it really just comes down to will we be able to outspeed the Doug Trio when we get to Giovanni. And after that, I mean, what really are we scared of? We're going to have an advantage against a lot of the Elite Four members with Gengar because we're going to play better and we're going to have a better move set when we get there. And yeah, it's hard to see right now where we're actually going to struggle with these ghost Pokemon. As a kid, I always used Gengar in my team every time. I would always get a Gengar as quickly as possible because you could basically get it in Lavender Town and just trade it to another Game Boy. And I always felt that Gengar was one of the strongest Pokemon in the game, hands down. So, yeah, I don't think that this Pokemon is going to have a lot of challenge going through the game. And we can see that this is not even close. We were able to get through Misty piece of cake there because we have such high special, and Misty's only attacks that can damage us are special type attacks. So there we go. Gengar is another Pokemon through Misty. Hardly even a challenge there to play through Misty with Gengar. Super easy run. So let's get to the runs that could be a little more interesting. Mr. Mime. Now, like I said, Mr. Mime always freaked me out as a kid because, I mean, come on, how couldn't he freak you out as a kid? He looks like a clown. If you're a person who likes clowns, I'm really sorry for you. Like, clowns are the creepiest creatures on Earth, in my personal opinion. Just watch me get buried in the comment section for that. But seriously, like, who likes clowns? I really honestly want to know. Now, I don't expect Mr. Mime to have any challenges here, facing up against these trainers on the way to Cerulean, because they aren't very good, and we're going to face a lot of poison types that we're just going to be able to one-shot because we have Confusion. But Misty's ace, Starby, is going to resist our attack when we use Confusion, so we're going to have to try something else to get through at that point. So we do have some TMs available to us, of course. We are going to be able to hopefully level up Well, we might not get Light Screen, but we can definitely get Mega Punch. We can get Thunder Wave that might help us. And what else do we have? Bide, but Bide's probably not a useful strategy. So this is going to be one that really we're going to have to see if Mega Punch is enough to get us through. Now you might be saying, hey Teo, there's an HP up there. Why aren't you going and getting the HP up? Well, we are already playing with max stats, max DVs. So there isn't really any advantage to going to get vitamins in these runs. So we are not using vitamins. And we are just trying to run through the game as quickly as possible. Now, later we will do a 0 DV, 0 stat experience run where, again, we probably won't use vitamins on the principle that it's outside of the realm of what we're trying to do. Like, we don't want to have any boost to our stats. So the only case that I think I would really go and get vitamins would be like if we were playing a Nuzlocke. Then that would make a lot of sense because we don't want our Pokemon to faint. So every little bit of stats that we can give them would be good. And of course, I think a true Nuzlocke, you cannot do any manipulation of DVs, diversification values. Like, you just got to take the Pokemon that you get and try to get through the game with them if you're going to do a true Nuzlocke. Otherwise, what's the challenge? If you're just going to reset till you get a perfect Pokemon, there would be no point. Anyway, here we are. We are in Cerulean City. We're going to go to the gym once and start off by just raising our stats and see if that works. Let's try fighting Misty one time as we are. So we're going to spam barrier to start. And we can see that got us through. But Starmie promptly took us out, okay? So let's see if learning Mega Punch helps us at all. So here against Staryu, it doesn't really change anything, but we can see that Starmie's still taking us out. So let's go ahead and fight Rival 2 and go north and get Thunder Wave. And let's see if that will let us get through this fight. Here, we're going to start off with some barriers because so many of these Pokemon use physical attacks. I think it makes the most sense. And there we go. We are through pretty easily. And so now this is just a bug catcher. I think we can get through at least a couple of these Pokemon without healing. So now let's heal up. And yeah, there we go. So many of these Pokemon are just poison types, and they can't stand up to confusion, so Stab Confusion is the winning move right here. Okay. Got through Nugget Bridge. We are going to pick up the Charmander in every run, because Charmander is going to be at least our cut and dig user. In some playthroughs, it might even be our strength user, as I discussed last time, because if we are trying to go as quickly as possible, there could be some situations where it's to our advantage to have a Pokemon that can use strength before we actually go and fight Koga. So anyway, here we are. We're going to come back to Misty Level 19, we have Thunder Wave, we have Mega Punch. Let's see if this is enough to get us through here. So we're going to start off with Thunder Wave. We're going to spam some barriers. And now against Staryu, I think we just use Confusion. But here we see Starmie. Several turns it was fully paralyzed, but Paralysis is more than enough to get us through. Misty, unlike Brock, does not sit around spamming retroactive full heals, so we can get a huge advantage on Misty just by using status on her. And that was pretty easy once we got that TM. So, Misty is another trainer down. Let's move on to our Hypno now. Hypno is going to be pretty interesting because its moveset is quite similar to Mr. Mime. And it's another psychic Pokemon that knows Confusion, so we're not going to struggle on the basis of that. And we can also see that we already know Hypnosis, so we don't have to worry so much about Misty, I think, because we're probably just going to put her to sleep. Now, we can get Mega Punch. We are also going to be able to get Thunder Wave if we absolutely need it. And then Bide looks like our only other option in TM. So, let's go ahead and play through this and see if we can repeat the success of Mr. Mime against Misty. So here I think the strategy is basically the same as before. Just go ahead and spam Confusion on all of these Pokemon and consider it an easy game. I mean, Confusion for an early game move is just so completely overpowered. The Psychic type in general, of course, in Generation 1 was just completely overpowered, but especially when you got Confusion, it just lets you get through so much of the early game so easily. Until you get to Misty's Starmie. That's the first time that you ever have any barrier to using the move in the game. Because that's the first time that you fight a Pokemon that resists it. Or when you fight the Rocket Grunt that has the Dig TM, he has a Drowsy. So that's the second time that you would encounter a Pokemon that can actually resist your move. Yeah, so here we've picked up TM1. We're just going to go ahead and replace Pound right now with Mega Punch. And we've already seen that Disable in this version is a pretty useless move, so if we need to replace a move in order to get Thunder Wave to get through, that will be the move that gets knocked off our moveset. So many people probably don't know that you can just stand right here and press A and you'll get a second Moonstone in Mount Moon. Basically, by getting the second Moonstone here, you're actually able to evolve all 4 Moonstone Pokemon, because you will get a total of 4 Moonstones during your playthrough. But yeah, this so far is shaping up to be a pretty easy game. Now, Hypno levels up slower than the other Pokemon that we've seen. The other Pokemon were basically already at level 17 right now, coming through to Cerulean, whereas we're only at level 15 with our Hypno. But is it even going to matter, given that we have Hypnosis? Let's find out. So, here we are, up against Misty. I think we need better hypnosis luck than this to get through at least. Okay. Misty uses an X defend and we get through. Probably if Misty had actually used an attack on us when she was awake every turn, we would have failed to get through. We probably would have gotten knocked out, but Misty is not a very strong trainer, so it was a pretty easy game. And there we have it. Today, 5 more Pokemon. Hypno, Mr. Mime, Gastly, Haunter, Gengar. They all show that Misty is not a challenge at all. So, who would you like to see next time in our Misty runs? We are going to, of course, come back and play through Misty with the Pokemon that you guys request. And there are a lot of Pokemon still left to go. Here, after we get rid of our ghosts, which we'll go ahead and do right now, and then we need to knock off our Mr. Mime and our Hypno. So you can see there are still a ton of Pokemon left to play this challenge. A lot of them I think are going to have an easy time, but there's definitely going to be some that are going to struggle more. The water types are finally going to have a little bit of a struggle here. Some of these fire types, especially fire types that only know fire type moves, a Pokemon like Ponyta comes to mind. It's not really going to get any useful TMs. Its only attacking move is Ember. Is that Pokemon going to be able to get through? It's going to be a pretty interesting set of runs when we get to those. But tell me in the comments below, who do you think should face Misty in our next episode? With that, I will go ahead and leave you with just a little bit of music and a reminder, like, subscribe. It really means a lot to me when I see a new subscriber, when I see your comments. I really want to deliver videos that you guys want to see and that you guys think will be interesting. At this point, yeah, we're early in the game. I really now don't think that Misty's going to wall all that many Pokemon. But when we get past Misty, our next challenge won't actually be Lieutenant Surge. I'm thinking our next challenge will actually be to get to Cerulean City by any means possible. Because the hiker in the rock tunnel is going to be a huge challenge to a lot of Pokemon, I think. Pokemon that don't resist normal type moves or don't have a super effective move against the rock ground type are going to struggle when they're getting self-destructed on by 2 Geodudes and a Graveler. And there's only a chance of a Gen 1 miss when the hiker uses self-destruct. It's a 1 in 256 glitch chance that he will miss, even though his attack's 100% accurate. So if we get there and we start knocking out Pokemon because they can't get through the hiker, that's when we're really going to see, I think, a lot of Pokemon get knocked out. But after we get to Cerulean, we're going to have chances to do a lot of routing, a lot of TMs in order to adjust our movesets. So until we get up to about Koga or Blaine or Giovanni, we're going to see a lot of Pokemon able to complete a large section of the game, at least on minimum battles, which I think is going to be really exciting to see. Which ones of those actually stay strong enough to get through to the end of the game? So if you like it, like, subscribe, comment. I'm really looking forward to making next week's video, and I'd love to hear what 5 Pokemon you guys would like to see. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.
just like a flame. It'd be a sin just to know your name. Whoa, don't make me beg for your love, babe. Whoa, you've got my heart on a chain. With your black eyes on the red moonlight, let's shoot some stars in this neon night. Now it's a black market love, babe. She checked her halo at the bedroom door. Ya no puedo vivir sin ti, como me duele el amor. Yes, I know, it's just a game that she's playing. The way a song brings down the lane, and just one kiss makes me go insane. Whoa, don't make me beg for your love, babe. Whoa, you've got my heart on a chain.